we promised you a great main event here tonight.
WrestleMania! WrestleMania is running west. If you smell what the Rock is cooking.
You smell what the final boss is cooking. I'm not sure everyone does smell what the final boss is cooking, because I've seen a bit of reaction to SmackDown last night and a lot of people are confused. I am not confused. I am entertained. Very, very entertained. I've seen a few comments, reactions, whatever, over the last few weeks saying the build to WrestleMania, oh, it's not good enough yet, or it's not good. And I think there's two things for me to say about that. One is, it's bloody February and WrestleMania is not until April the 17th, and we haven't even had an Elimination Chamber yet. And the two matches, I don't think anyone's complaining surely about the two matches that are set, Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair, and Jey Uso versus Gunther, the Royal Rumble winners have picked. Surely no one's complaining about those two matches, but I'm sure in the spirit of wrestling fans and the internet and all fans of the internet, complaining is something that we do. But last night, SmackDown, or 2 nights ago, when was it? The night before last? Was it the morning? Yesterday morning, we found out that The Rock was going to appear. And now, I think it's for more context here. So, in a few chats and stuff this week, I've been sending messages saying, I don't think The Rock's ever going to wrestle again. Firstly, there was some rumours of him being in the new X-Men, or being wanted by Marvel to be in the new X-Men, which could be multiple movies and, a significant role as a villain, and he's not going to be risking that for a wrestling match. And then the news, actually, which was, I think, Thursday night, something like that, there was news that he's going to be in Scorsese's new form, with Leonardo DiCaprio and Emily Blunt, his good friend Emily Blunt. Scorsese form. This boy has gone from Rocky Maivia to the Nation of Domination to starring in Martin Scorsese film in a major role by all reports, if that's what's true. So yeah, a couple of messages I sent to a few people this week saying The Rock's never going to wrestle again. Like, he's never going to wrestle. And then within a few hours of that, we get a notification on his Instagram that says he's going to appear on SmackDown. And it's not just him. It says the final boss is going to appear on SmackDown. And yeah, there's a lot of apprehension. Firstly, it's like, okay, well, last time we saw The Rock, he was playing to the Netflix launch. He was endorsing Cody Rhodes. He was saying nice things. He put the Ulafala on Roman Reigns and didn't do anything else. He drank tequila with Cody Rhodes, and they posted an Instagram video for about half an hour or something, and it was almost out of character for the final boss than what we had been used to last year. So that was the situation. Anyway, I've kind of slumped about in points here. So people moaning about WrestleMania build is my first point was, firstly, it's February, so calm down. Secondly, last year's, I've been watching WrestleManias since WrestleMania 6. Last year's was, in my opinion, the best build to a WrestleMania, and some of the best TV of any kind of sports, of entertainment, of anything that we've had ever. So the best build to WrestleMania, the best build to an event, in a long time, any event, any kind of event. I'm talking about wrestling, just anything. So we were absolutely sport with what we got last year, which was, some of it was real, obviously some of it was organic because of the Cody Crybabies, so we got all of that. So we haven't had that this year yet, and that's the bar now. That is the absolute bar. But now we're talking about a man who's about to star in a Martin Scorsese film, was around a lot last year, and not only was he around a lot last year, we knew he was going to wrestle, so it meant a whole lot more that he was around a lot last year. So anyway, so we get this message, so I was thinking, okay, well, there's going to be SmackDown. My first thought, and I'm not saying that I was wise to this, but the rumours have been New Orleans for WrestleMania 42. I saw SmackDown was in New Orleans. I was like, okay, he's announcing that. And then obviously I think there's some rumours after that said that's primarily his role, he's going to be announcing that. So you think he was going to come out and do maybe his old spiel and come out, talk about it. I mean, he didn't have to do anything. He just come out and announce it and, play to the crowd. and that. So anyway, we get to SmackDown. Good SmackDown. I thought it was a really good match between Jimmy Uso and Drew McIntyre, which was good, and it was nice to see Jimmy Uso get a win. Anyway, go fast forward, some good stuff with the women's stuff. I liked Alexa Bliss's build thing for Elimination Chamber. I liked the brawl or the fight between Liv and Raquel and Bianca and Naomi, and I wonder if we're going to get something on Monday with Jade or Hint, maybe, because they're wrestling for the tag team titles, and then they've obviously 3 of them are then in the Elimination Chamber on Saturday next week. So anyway, so we got that, and then I think with about an hour and 20 minutes to go, we get the Rock segment. So a bit quiet. If you smell what the Rock is cooking, and we got some Lil Wayne, because of course Lil Wayne's from New Orleans, and he wanted to remix his theme tune. I think there's probably a few people in there that didn't recognize it, and then were like, what is this? Is this like someone else pretending is not coming in or whatever? Anyway, the Rock comes in, goes back to his original music after a minute or so. Goosebumps. So I was watching this with Talia, and to wait for her to wake up this morning so I could watch this, because of course she wanted to see the Rock come back. So we were watching it, and I'm like, oh, let's see if he tags the fans. He's going to be a good guy or whatever. Give a little kid a hug or something like that. Then started putting his hand up, tagging the fans. I was like, is this Netflix Rock again? Is that what we're going to get? And if it is, it's still The Rock. I mean, we're still getting one of the most famous people on the planet on a wrestling show, so come on. But anyway, we get that, goes through, comes through, picks up a camera for their phone of someone who dropped it, clearly taking a picture of The Rock, comes in, does a finally, and then it's finally WrestleMania's come back to New Orleans. The announcement's done within 2 lines. Within 1 line, really, because it says finally, 2nd line. Finally, WrestleMania's coming back to New Orleans, 10th, 11th, I think it is, of April next year, which will be interesting. Do I continue my streak of going? New Orleans is not a direct flight from the UK. It is awkward. New Orleans will be cool. It's really warm in April as well, but that is a discussion for another day. So The Rock comes out, does all this, and then he just drops a few little, bits around the crowd. Biggest collection of STD having trailer park trash. He does one. Then he starts to sing along, tells him not to sing along. You think, oh, I have to say, I think this was brilliant. You've got a corporate, whatever you want to call it, The Rock, probably Dwayne Johnson, a natural personality coming out, one of the most famous people on the planet, the TKO board member, let's just say that, coming out, doing his bit, and then slowly says he's going to call out someone, which we already knew from earlier in the show, because Nick Aldis said Cody's not in the match, it's been pulled by The Rock. So then Cody comes out, looking a bit apprehensive, as he did, and I think Cody played this really well throughout this whole segment, because he didn't say much. The Rock kept talking to him like, yeah, respect you, Cody, you carried the company, you're great, but I want you to be greater. I want you to be bigger than me. I really like you, I see it in you, you can be so much more. And he started talking about his family, talking about, will you be my champion? Will you be my champion? And that's really interesting, because my first thing is I can hear Vince McMahon. I can see the authority. I think even before, I can see Vince, and I know people compare it already to Vince and Austin or Triple H and Stephanie and the authority and Seth. And I think it's not even just Vince and Austin. Obviously Austin did the heel turn at WrestleMania 17, but Vince obviously manipulated. I'm talking about the TV program. Manipulated people throughout the whole thing. We had the Kiss My Ass Club, that sort of stuff. JR, everyone he manipulated and threatened and almost did. But The Rock did it in a way, because obviously The Rock he is a genuine board member of TKO. He is the final boss in some ways. He even talks about Ari Emanuel, which they never mention on the Visa, the Endeavor owner, who is the ultimate, I guess, the big boss in terms of the owning. And he said to him, Ari, you own WWE. And he said, no, Rock, you own WWE. And then there's no the people own WWE. There's no this. And he's going more and more into the character that we saw last year, the sinister part of the final boss, not just obviously we saw the violence and the whipping Cody in one of the best segments ever in Chicago Raw last year, and all of the other stuff. But actually it was the way that it's not becoming a joke. And people may think, okay, the crowd weren't reacting. I think the crowd was it's a little bit unnerving. I think uncomfortable And it's not a normal wrestling back and forth. It's not a normal thing you see in wrestling. And this is why I think it was phenomenal. I think it was fantastic. I think we've got that, yeah. And then the final line, because Cody's there. Cody's looking nervous. I mean, when Cody looks nervous, always looks like he's about to burst into tears, which is obviously hilarious because women is Cody crybabies. But he looked like, okay, what do you mean? You know, and The Rock explains a bit more, and he says, I want that. And you can imagine when people are watching this, the people who are like, oh my God, he's going to take the title shot away from John Cena or from CM Punk or from someone else or whatever, and he's going to make it Cody versus The Rock at WrestleMania. And he says, not your belt. I want your soul. What a line. What a line. And I think it works on so many different levels, this segment. Because also he confirms that you need to give me an answer at Elimination Chamber. So The Rock's got another date in the diary with the WWE on the road to WrestleMania. And we have a very intriguing situation. And I have said it before on this show, and I'll say it again. We do not know. Apart from the 2 matches announced, we do not know. We can guess. We're probably going to get Jacob Fatu again, Solo Sikoa, which I'm very pleased about. We're probably going to get a tag team title match. Obviously going to get to matches for the belts. We do not know what is going to happen in the main events. We do not know. We have got all kinds of possibilities now. This is thrown up that. Do I think The Rock is going to wrestle Cody Rhodes or anyone at WrestleMania? No, I don't. I still don't think he's going to wrestle. However, he could. I think I saw something that it took him something like 8 to 10 weeks to get into wrestling shape. Obviously he's in shape, but into wrestling shape. So I'm assuming that's a lot of cardio. It's 8 weeks to WrestleMania. Obviously some kind of decision was made for him to return this week, and not just to return this week, but then to be part of a storyline that takes us to Elimination Chamber at least. And it would be bizarre if Cody makes a decision, which he's not going to just say, yes, I'm going to be your champion, surely. And then The Rock goes, okay, and then you're my champion, and the Rock's not appearing. So The Rock is appearing between now and from Elimination Chamber onwards to WrestleMania. So you will feel he'll play a part at WrestleMania, whether that's in someone's corner, interfering or not. My guess is I don't think he's going to wrestle. He could. I don't think he will. I still don't think he will, especially if these movie parts are thing. I think the thing I always remind people about The Rock when they say he could wrestle, well, when he wrestled John Cena and the second time at WrestleMania, he got a ridiculously bad injury, and then he obviously couldn't film films for I think it was like 6 months or something. I might have made that amount of time up, but he did get a bad. He tore something off his hip bone or something. I can't remember, but obviously when and especially if the films, I don't know if he's finished filming 1 or 2 yet, but I don't know if he's doing that or he's got a break. This Scorsese film, potentially X-Men. You can't, those two. I mean, obviously he's done superhero stuff before, but a big role in a Marvel film is big. That could be something bigger in terms of it could be multiple movies, and if Marvel do the X-Men movies good and stuff, but also Scorsese film, like, are you risking that for a wrestling match? Maybe, but I can't see it. That is just my take at the moment. I will be happy to be proved wrong, as I'm going to Vegas, and I would love to see The Rock wrestle again. Selfishly, because of what happened last year and getting to see The Rock wrestle, I'm probably not as desperate as other people going to Vegas or people just watching WrestleMania for him to wrestle. But I think we've got this version of The Rock that can just switch between. It's funny because he has a press conference afterwards, and he's Dwayne Johnson in that press conference. So he's got almost People's Champion at the beginning. Then you've got Final Boss, and then you've got Dwayne Johnson corporate doing the spiel about, Louisiana, can't wait to come back here, New Orleans, WrestleMania, blah, blah, blah. Not London, though. They didn't do London, did they? What happened there? We went to our London WrestleMania, Sadiq Khan, I'm coming for you. But, yeah, I loved it. I thought this was a brilliant segment. Leaves it open. What's going to happen? We don't know. And I think that's where some people's frustrations are. But also, enjoy the ride. I said this last year when the whole Cody, we want Cody thing happened and all that, and I never thought it'd be as good as it was. But with wrestling, I think you've just got to enjoy it. You've just got to think, trust in the process. It might not be exactly what you want. It might not be, if you want John Cena versus Cody Rhodes, that might not happen. It might happen. If you want Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins, which I do, I mean, obviously I'll take Roman Reigns and The Rock if that's going to happen, but I don't think that looks like the direction anyway, even if The Rock was to wrestle, because it's now, although anything can happen. You've got the most stacked elimination chamber that I can remember, facing the champion of the last year, who is the most over babyface. Oh, is he? Because you've got Roman Reigns and you've got CM Punk, but okay, the most over babyface, typical babyface champion, because he's a proper babyface who is carrying for, and you know, he goes up against The Rock, who is this final boss, evil final boss character, and then you've got, and it makes Cody look even better as a babyface. And this is the thing, and maybe he will turn heel, or maybe it will happen, and you know, there's plenty of time left for that to happen in the future. But he doesn't. Why does he need to? He is uber over. He sells merch out of his ass. Like there's no need for Cody Rhodes to turn heel. Maybe he will. And we saw a little hint when CM Punk, the promo on him just before Royal Rumble, where he looked like he was tired, he was fed up, he was getting annoyed at doing every show. Not getting annoyed, but he was waning on it. And obviously he had the great feud and a great match with Kevin Owens. So yeah, we don't know. One of those 6 men is, well, I mean, unless they completely, well, which they can, because The Rock, change that, it's going to be in there. You know, The Rock is that elimination chamber. Roman Reigns, surely, I'm hoping it's not a real injury, obviously, and no one really knows, but I don't think it is. And the Roman Reigns obviously has got a match, probably a main event at WrestleMania, and how does that all fit into it? Do we have one of these matches is probably going to have to be a triple threat? And this is the thing that I've been saying. WWE have the most over wrestlers, the most amount of over, and I mean really over, and they could main event. They've main evented already. They've main evented multiple matches. You know, you've got, even if you don't count The Rock in it, but just say The Rock might be a possibility to wrestle. Unlikely, I think. Roman Reigns, CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, John Cena, Jey Uso, Gunther, Seth Rollins, Logan Paul, maybe not main event, but people hate him, but he's bloody good in the ring, and he's a big name, and he attracts things, and you want to watch his matches. You know, Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre. That's like, what's that, 11 or 12? Even if you don't count Logan Paul and The Rock, it's 10 people. Then, you know, you've got Sammy, and you've got Kevin Owens. Randy Orton is surely going to come back in time for WrestleMania. It is an insane level. Obviously, all the other factors, haven't you? John Cena could be going for 17. John Cena's last ever WrestleMania. You've got CM Punk, who is owed a favour. You've got CM Punk wanting to main event his first ever WrestleMania. You've got Roman Reigns, who can main event with anyone, and he's got to play in that. It is there to be enjoyed. So, in the comments, what are your predictions? What do you think is going to happen? What if it's going to happen at Elimination Chamber? Who's going to win Elimination Chamber? What is your night one main event? Does main event Jey Uso get a main event? As harsh as it is, Jey Uso versus Gunther could open one of the 2 nights. And just because you've still got even if you took the elite names I've just said of Cena, Roman, Punk, Seth, Cody, that's 2. Even if you do a triple threat, that's 2 matches, and those matches should go on last because of who they are. But we don't know. I mean, you almost think the feel good of a night one, Jey Uso ending it and winning and beating Gunther, and 70, whatever it is, 80,000, however many can fit in the Allegiant, yeeting Saturday night in Vegas. I mean, that's a pretty good ending. But who knows? Predictions. Who's going to win? What's The Rock going to do? Did you enjoy the segment? Why did you not enjoy the segment? Why did you enjoy the segment? I love the segment. I thought it was brilliant. I love the fact that we've got The Rock, even if it's not wrestling, in this role where he's going to be in and out and playing in storylines. And obviously he could have a storyline with a couple of other people as well. Right. I enjoyed it. I will be back probably to preview Elimination Chamber, if not a review of Elimination Chamber next weekend. Right. Don't take anyone's soul.